You're looking at the Seek Thermal Reveal, a rugged thermal camera that promises to show you hidden heat problems instantly. This is the honest review that shows you exactly why you might regret buying it. For the best price, click the link in the description. But here's what surprised me. For a tool built for professionals and serious DIYers, some of its core flaws make it almost unusable for critical tasks. Therefore, before you spend hundreds of dollars for thermal vision powers, you need to see the cold, hard problems I discovered. This isn't just a review, it's a buyer intervention. Let's start with the promise. Seek says this is an all-in-one tool. It has a 206 by 156 thermal sensor, a 300 lumen flashlight, and a 10-hour battery. The specs sound great on paper. You'd think you could find drafts, electrical faults, or even wildlife with ease. But the first time I powered it on, the reality felt like getting a high-definition TV that only shows static in certain colors. The display is large and colorful, yes. However, the image quality and responsiveness tell a different story. I'm going to dive deep into the three major deal breakers. The first is the frame rate. Seek lists it as less than 9 Hz. That's a fancy way of saying it's slow. Really slow. If you move the camera at all, the image smears and lags behind. Trying to scan a wall for insulation gaps feels like watching a buffering video from 2005. You have to move painfully slow or you'll miss everything. But wait, it gets worse. The second problem is the fixed focus lens. This thing can't focus. It's set to one distance. The manual says it's optimized for objects between 5 feet and infinity. That sounds okay until you need to look at something up close, like a circuit board. Your thermal blob becomes a fuzzy, unrecognizable mess. It's like being nearsighted in a world of heat. You can't fix it. Therefore, for detailed electrical work or plumbing, it's nearly worthless. You're just guessing. Let's talk about temperature range and accuracy. It detects from to 626 degrees F. That's a wide range. But the thermal sensitivity is less than 70 millikelvin. In theory, that means it sees tiny differences. In practice, the spot temperature readings jump around like a kid on a sugar rush. I pointed it at a known surface, and the reading fluctuated by over 10 degrees. For a homeowner checking for a water leak, that's maybe fine. For a contractor diagnosing an overloaded circuit, that's a liability. You'd have more consistent results waving a thermometer in the general direction. Now, the build quality. It's rubberized and feels tough. It survived a drop from my workbench onto a rubber mat. Big applause. The included flashlight is bright, I'll give it that. It's like having a loyal but dim-witted sidekick, great at one simple job. But the main event, the thermal camera, feels like it's powered by a potato battery from that flashlight. The interface is clunky. Changing color palettes isn't intuitive. Capturing a photo is slow. For a ruggedized, all-purpose tool, the software feels anything but professional. It's the smartphone equivalent of a brick phone with a color screen. Remember the promise of finding problems up to 500 feet away. That's marketing poetry. With this resolution and lag, a heat source at 500 feet is a pixel of slightly warmer color. You'll have no idea what it is. A hunter tracking game. The animal would have written its memoirs by the time the image refreshed. A plumber finding a clog. Maybe if the clog is a roaring fireplace in your wall. The range claim is technically true but practically useless. It's like saying your car can drive to the moon. Sure, but you'll need some extra parts. Let's look at the battery life. They claim up to 10 hours. With the thermal camera on constantly, I got about 6. With the flashlight on intermittently, maybe 5. It's rechargeable, which is good. But if you're on a long job site, this isn't an all-day tool without a break. It's more of a sprint than panic tool. You'll be constantly aware of the battery percentage, which adds stress you don't need. Now the price. At around $500, this sits in a weird spot. It's too expensive for a toy, but too flawed for professional use. For a few hundred more, you can get competitors with better specs. For much less, You can get a lower-end model that manages expectations better. The Seek thermal reveal is stuck in no man's land. It's the Goldilocks of thermal cameras. If Goldilocks was constantly complaining that everything was wrong, who is this for then? If you're a DIY homeowner who wants to play with heat vision on a weekend and doesn't care about precision, maybe. But even then, the lag and fixed focus are frustrating. If you're a contractor or engineer, you'll be laughed off the site. The 9HZ frame rate alone is a professional deal-breaker. It's like showing up to a race with a wheelbarrow. You're moving, but everyone is waiting for you to finish. Let's recap the core problems. Problem 1. The glacial frame rate makes real-time scanning a joke. Problem 2. The fixed focus lens eliminates close-up detail work. Problem 3. The spot temperature readings are inconsistent, making diagnosis unreliable. Wrapped in a rugged case, you have a tool that feels professional but performs like a prototype. Therefore, my final verdict is clear. Do not buy the Seek Thermal Reveal if you need accurate, reliable thermal imaging for work. It will disappoint you. The problems outweigh the convenience of the built-in light and rugged design. It's a lesson in how specs on paper don't translate to performance in hand. There are better options out there. If you're determined to buy a thermal camera, do more research. Look at the frame rate first. Look for adjustable focus. Test the software. Your money deserves better than this. I hope this honest breakdown saved you from an expensive mistake. For a tool that's supposed to reveal hidden problems, its own flaws are the biggest thing it exposes. If you want to check the latest price on Amazon, maybe to see the reviews for yourself, click the link in the description below.